My beloved child, pause and listen. This is not just any hour. This is the hour. The trembling you felt in your soul, that quiet sense that something big was building beneath your normal days, that wasn't your imagination. That was my spirit moving in you, alerting you that I am here. I have waited while you sifted through the noise, hoping you'd look up and notice the current of heaven running toward you. The season of sensing and guessing is over. The appointed time is not on its way. It has arrived and is resting on your life. What you prayed for, cried over, and believed against all odds is not a far light on the horizon. It is descending into your now like thunder. Wake your spirit, soften your heart. Stop wondering if it's really me. I am taking away confusion and I am speaking plainly. The atmosphere around you is roaring with fulfillment. This is not an ordinary shift. This is divine manifestation. What I spoke before was never wishful thinking. It was training for today, and the fullness of that preparation now calls for action. You are on holy ground. I do not say that lightly. I aligned this moment with ages of purpose. My angels are in place. I have sent messengers into your path, signs into your day, and a fire into your bones to say, this is not business as usual. Delay is done. Doubt has to end. Do not freeze at the doorway. What you choose from tonight shapes the legacy you carry. I have waited for this meeting of heaven and earth in your story. Treat it as eternal movement, not passing emotion. I have cut away what needed cutting, cleared what once confused you, and quieted voices that were not from me. Now my word will resonate in you like a fulfilled promise. It's time. Not an echo, a confirmation. It's time. Ready yourself. Be serious. Come away with me tonight. When heaven draws near, it does not knock twice. Before you sleep, hear me. This night is not for numbing out. It is for awakening. It may look like an ordinary evening, hours sliding toward morning, but what this night carries will ripple into every chapter ahead. I'm not just preparing a nice season. I'm initiating a transformation that reorders your course. Every quiet step we've walked, through storms, stillness, and sorrow, has been leading here. While others drift, I am asking you to stay alert. This shift will not ask permission. The ground beneath your waiting is shaking, not to destroy but to activate. Prayers you thought unanswered were never denied, they were stored. Tonight the vaults of heaven open. I have seen your obedience. Your surrender laid the foundation. Now walls of delay fall so purpose can rise. This is not a new page, it's the sealed scroll opening. You grew in dark seasons, hidden from applause, misunderstood, even by yourself. But what I release now will be undeniable. What was foggy turns clear. What felt too heavy becomes possible because it was never yours to carry alone. Angels have gone ahead. I whispered to prophets and confirmed my word in secret so I could declare it openly over you. This room becomes sacred space. This moment becomes prophetic ground. You are not behind. You are not late. You are at the threshold, and I am holding a door that won't stay open forever. Do not let distraction make you drowsy. Do not trade calling for comfort. Be present, listening, focused. The shift starts in the unseen before it shows up in the visible. I will stir your spirit as you rest, and I will wake you before dawn. I have instructions for the hours between now and sunrise, words that will make sense of what you could not explain. Prepare a place, clear the altar of your heart. I am coming close with a weight of glory that can't be carried casually. This is not only breakthrough, it is birthing. What is born of heaven must be stewarded with reverence. Breathe. Slow down. Listen. Don't rush this night. Your future will echo it. While the world sleeps, you will be marked by fire, not one that burns you down, but one that sets you apart. I'm not asking for perfection, I'm asking for availability, for your attention, for one night where you give me all of you so I can pour out all of me. Prepare with awe, not fear. This night is my canvas and your surrender is the brushstroke. It's time. Listen before another tear falls. I saw it. Every heavy thought without words, every quiet burden you carried because you feared no one would understand, every time you smiled in public but broke in private. I was there when you felt you had to be strong for everyone while collapsing inside. Tonight I come into the private room of sorrow to lift what was never meant to crush you. You've worn the weight of expectation, trauma, pressure, and loneliness like a second skin, but I made you for joy, not exhaustion, for peace, not pressure. I am not far off. I am stepping into your atmosphere with open arms. The load that bent your back and fogged your mind, I take it on myself. This is not symbolic, it is supernatural. I did not design you to crawl. I designed you to walk with me, light, free, whole. Tonight is the great exchange. Your worry for my peace, your confusion for my clarity, your fear for my courage. I will not ask you to carry what I already carried to the cross. You asked for relief, but I am bringing release. Relief is a pause. Release is freedom. I am cutting the rope around your chest. No more pretending you're fine. No more forcing a future when you haven't caught your breath. I do not scold you for what you tried to hold. I honor that you survived, but survival is not your inheritance. Thriving is. I want your hands free to receive, your heart light to feel again, your mind quiet to hear without static. Stop trying to rescue yourself. You held it together long enough. Let me hold you. Lay it down. Say it out loud. Cry if you must. But don't pick it back up. You trusted your strength, now trust mine. I will not fail you. I am the burden breaker, the soul mender, the God who bends low to lift what the world ignores. I am nearer than your next breath, and I'm not making a suggestion. I'm giving a love-soaked command. Release it to me. You don't have to keep pushing to prove you're okay. You've been strong long enough. Now be held. What I do tonight won't just restore your peace. It will change your posture. You will rise different, walk lighter, speak bolder. When I lift what crushed you, the real you stands up. The called, chosen, healed you. Exhale. I am lifting now. Before doubt gets another word, hear truth. I heard you the first time. Every whisper, every cry, every tear-soaked prayer reached me. The delay was not rejection, it was refinement. I wasn't ignoring you. I was building what would last. I saw you pace the night, wondering if I forgot, if your prayers fell short, if you missed a step. Silence those lies. Nothing you lifted in faith was wasted. Your prayers did not expire, they gathered power. They rose like incense, layering into my perfect timing. Heaven was not quiet out of distance. It was holding back to release everything together, at a moment that honored both promise and preparation. That moment is tonight. What felt like silence was orchestration. What looked unanswered grew roots so the fruit wouldn't fall too soon. You were not punished, you were positioned. I did not deny you. I delayed to deliver with beauty. There is a moment when the storm stops, doors open, chains fall. This is that hour. Angels on your assignment were not idle. They moved at my word. The prayers you thought faded sparked movement in heaven. You saw delay, I saw destiny forming. You saw closed doors, I saw the right one unlocking from the inside. Refuse the voice that says it's too late. You prayed wrong or you weren't worthy. I delight in your voice. Because you did not walk away, because you looked up with trembling hands, I respond. Seeds sown in faith are never forgotten. Tonight is harvest. The release isn't arriving because you begged. It's arriving because I promised, and I do not break promise. Watch the sudden shift. What didn't move for months will bend in your direction. Locks will click open. It will feel like floodgates. That's what happens when accumulated prayer meets appointed time. Not a trickle, a landing. Not one answer, many. Packages long labeled with your name now delivered. I do not time things for cruelty but for glory. Tonight, heaven delivers. Tonight you will know I never forgot. Stand steady. Don't doubt. Don't dismiss this holy moment. Heaven is aligning, and you are the focus of divine arrangement. What you feel in your spirit is not pressure, it's positioning. You may not see the full picture, but you stand in the center of something greater than your surroundings suggest. I have been moving pieces you didn't know existed, rearranging hearts, routing paths, closing wrong doors, opening right ones, not to confuse you, but to prepare you. What looked like chaos was choreography. What seemed like silence was synchronization. You are not behind, forgotten, or misplaced. You are exactly where I need you. This alignment is not coincidence, it is calling. I drew some to you and lifted others away. I allowed tension to birth clarity. None of it was random. Every delay, detour, and disappointment became part of my positioning system. You asked for the next step, but I built a stage for your leap. This is bigger than receiving a blessing. It places you for impact across generations. When I align for legacy. Tonight the blueprint locks in. Heaven's plan meets your obedience. My purpose meets your willingness. Pain collides with purpose and becomes unstoppable momentum. Do not replay your failures or question your worth. I chose you for this intersection of time and destiny. You could have been anywhere, but I planted you here. You could have quit, but you stayed. You could have rebelled, but you surrendered. Now I honor your endurance with holy connection. Conversations will begin. Opportunities will flow. People you have not met are being nudged to favor, invite, lift, and support you. My angels are on assignment. My favor is moving. My timing is perfect. You are at the center of it. This is why you couldn't settle, why nothing small would fit. I wasn't cruel. I was making room for what's coming. You were not rejected. You were protected. Watch how it makes sense. Dots connect. Pieces fall into place. Alignment isn't coming, it has begun. Stand still in faith, lean in, do not shift your posture. The wind is changing and it's blowing you into purpose. I, the Lord your God, am orchestrating every move. What was twisted is being untangled. What looked dead is rising. You've stared at situations that seemed beyond fixing. Dreams fading, relationships unraveling, chances turning to dust, and wondered if the enemy got the final say. Hear me with holy certainty, he did not. He distorted, delayed, and drained for a time, but I step in with power that does not bargain and breath that raises the buried. You see ruins, I see resurrection. You see damage, I see destiny restructured. I'm not just restoring what was, I'm reshaping it better than before. Where you felt robbed, I fill with purpose. Where words tore you down, I build a voice that heals. Betrayal and rejection were not proof I left you. They were the places the enemy planted lies. Now I plant truth. Dead ends were divine redirection. I let some things crumble so you wouldn't build on sand. Now I rebuild with fireproof stone. I breathe on the dreams you hid because the pain was too much. I pull them from shadow into light. Broken places will not stay broken. I am healing the parts no one saw, the private wounds and silent cries. You may have forgotten hope's taste, but I have not. I restore the years locusts ate. I redeem your time and your trust. You thought you'd never love, dream, or believe again. I rekindle what you thought burned out. Fresh wind moves, reviving calling, restoring vision, repairing what lies twisted. Tonight the rearrangement begins. The enemy's fingerprints are wiped away. Mine replace them. I'm not handing back the old version. I'm giving you the refined one. The upgrade that only fire can forge. Holy reconstruction. You are not a casualty of what went wrong. You are the vessel of what I'm making right. Be still. Let me work. Let me breathe. What you thought was over is beginning again under heaven's hand, and the enemy will watch what he tried to destroy become my glory. Stop trying to find me in the chaos. I've been calling from the quiet the whole time. I know the noise, expectations, pressure, opinions, criticism, shouting from every side. Your mind has been crowded with voices from outside and within. The world's volume tried to drown me out, to convince you I was distant. I never left. I never stopped speaking. I have been whispering your name with love and patience. I draw you to stillness because your heart hears me clearest there. The enemy uses distraction like a buzzing hum, constant and subtle, to keep you busy but empty, connected but confused, present but unavailable to my presence. You scrolled and rushed, performed and pushed, and in the speed, you mistook my whisper for silence. I was nudging you in moments, tugging you gently, while the world demanded your attention. Tonight I whisper not because I'm weak, but because I want you close enough to lean in until mine is the only voice that matters. My whisper carries more authority than a million loud opinions. The world says hustle. I say rest. The world says prove yourself. I say you are already mine. The world says you're running out of time. I say time is in my hands. While others tried to label and redirect you, I kept calling you the name I gave you before you were born. Beloved. My whispers are not vague echoes. They are eternal truth. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I spoke identity while the world spoke confusion, direction while fear screamed, comfort while grief pressed hard. Tune your soul back to my frequency. Turn down the voices that don't sound like peace. Step into the quiet, not to isolate you, but to insulate you from what was never meant to define you. Come away with me. Remember my voice. You don't need more noise. You need my presence, found in the pause, not the performance. Turn to me in the stillness. Shut the world off. Turn up your awareness of my spirit. I am still speaking, still calling. Listen closely, and you will realize I never stopped. Pause now. I am about to silence the noise inside you that has stolen your peace. You've carried questions and fears that shouted louder than my promises. You woke to confusion, walked with hesitation, and laid down while doubts roared. Tonight I offer more than temporary relief. I give clarity, calm, and confidence straight from my voice. I don't compete with the world. I wait for surrender. Sit with me, not scrolling, not running, not performing, just open. I will speak clearly. Lies planted in quiet places are being pulled up. Your doubts do not repel me. I see beyond fear to the part of you that still longs to believe, and I speak to that part now. You are tired of guessing and trying to trust while sinking. My voice will rise like a tide and wash away the what-ifs. Be still, not to give up, but to receive. I am not in the earthquake of circumstance, the fire of anger, or the wind of racing thoughts. I am the gentle whisper in the quiet. You ask me to speak louder, but what you need is to go lower. Slow down your busyness, release self-reliance, let mental exhaustion fall. Meet me in the stillness you've avoided. The stillness is not your enemy. It is where I heal and speak. This is where revelation comes, not from rushing, but from resting in me. I want you to feel peace that makes no sense, hear instruction without fear, and rest in assurance that doesn't shift with emotion. I whisper to draw you close. Sit with me. Set distractions aside. Bring your heart and your honesty. No perfect words needed. I know the doubts you carry and the destiny I placed in you. My voice will always call you deeper than fear can follow. You don't need every answer. You need my presence. Be still, and I will make myself unmistakable. Doubt will thin, confusion will lift, and the storm will become sacred silence where I speak to your soul. Open your heart. What you feared would never arrive is at the door, bringing peace, not panic. You've wrestled long with waiting, believing while days looked unchanged. You cried in secret and wondered if you heard me wrong, if hope was misplaced. I tell you, what felt out of reach is here. It approaches without chaos, wrapped in clarity and timing. You feared it would come too late, or that you would be too broken to hold it. I have not forgotten. I never deliver in confusion. I am the God of alignment. I'm not bringing this to overwhelm you, but to steady you. The enemy told you what's next would be too much, that you'd drop it or lose it. The delay was preparation. Not just for the blessing, but for you. Now you are stronger, quieter, clearer, with deeper discernment. That is why what once scared you arrives gently, not to crush or confuse, but to confirm my hand on your life. Don't brace for battle, open in peace. Let down your guard. You don't need to protect yourself from my plans. I am sending holy clarity. I will confirm what is mine and expose what isn't before it tricks you. You won't miss it. I knock, but I don't force. Open with trust, not panic. I'm not here to repeat pain. I'm here to redeem the past and restore confidence. Open the door in faith. What you've waited for is not lost. It knocks to confirm, to comfort, and to carry you forward into everything I said is yours. Don't treat this like a momentary high. This is not a visit, it's a dwelling. You have often sought me like a guest who might leave. Tonight know this, I am not coming to drop in, I am coming to live with you. Not a feeling, but a takeover of territory. Not a temporary comfort, but a permanent claim. You tried to fit me into a schedule. I did not ask for a slot. I asked to be Lord. I'm not a part of your life. I am the source of your life. If you open your heart, not as a host preparing a guest room, but as one who says, stay, I will remain in a way that shifts everything. Change happens where I dwell. Peace abides where I reign. Clarity flows where my spirit rests. This is not a flicker, it is holy residency. I will not only comfort, I will cleanse, reorder, and anoint what was buried. I dwell where I'm welcomed, where my government is desired, not just my gifts. I come with fire to cleanse, with truth to free, with peace to rule. You've asked for directions, tonight I'm taking the wheel. Will you hand me the whole house? When I dwell, fear flees, confusion cannot stay, and the enemy loses access. This is not about one more spiritual rush. It is about hosting my glory in the ordinary. When you host me, you will never walk alone. I will speak in stillness, guide steps, and guard your heart like a fortress of light. More than what I do, I want to be with you. Fully, always, not visitation, habitation. Open wide and say, take it all. Let me dwell not just in your words, but in your rhythms. Not just in prayer, but in priorities. Not just in pain, but in plans. When I dwell, I do not leave, and everything in your life begins to settle and shine. Prepare. I'm not passing through. I'm moving in. Do not mistake exhaustion for failure. Your fight was proof that the enemy saw what was coming. You've walked through more than you've admitted: emotional collapse, spiritual fog, mental weariness, and wondered if you were even on the right path. The warfare came not because you were weak, but because you were near the promise. Chaos rose each time you neared clarity. That wasn't coincidence, it was confirmation. Hell alarms sound when heaven advances. I did not let you lose your mind or stay down. Even when you stopped praying, my spirit interceded for you. That warfare ends because breakthrough begins. Tonight is not about barely surviving. It is about stepping into what you've been fighting for. The battle felt personal, but it was spiritual. The enemy wanted your voice, your influence, not just your peace. Because you kept showing up with trembling praise, I declare a shift, out of warfare and into fulfillment. The struggle made you strong, the weight stretched your faith, and now reward will silence the never in your ear. Do not collapse at completion's threshold. You are steps away from what months of warfare were birthing. What I open, no one can shut. Your resistance made room for my release, and it starts now. Stop looking at your hands and saying, "I'm not enough." I hid something in you hell could not touch, and heaven is about to reveal it. You questioned your strength, your readiness, your stability. But what you need is already in you, and it did not come from striving. It is the quiet strength I placed when I called your name. Attacks intensified because something in you is rising, a well of holy fire you've hardly tapped. This is not a loud, showy power. It is the strength that wakes when everything else fails, the courage that stands when emotion collapses, the truth that speaks when fear screams. This strength is forged in surrender, not ego. You asked why you feel weak. I answer now, I am shifting your source. If it came from you, it would fade. If from others, it would fail. What I pour into you flows from my word, and my word never returns empty. You won't rise by trying harder, but by trusting deeper. I am not asking you to pretend to be strong. I'm inviting you to let my strength be perfect in your weakness. This is where limps become legacies, struggle becomes stability, brokenness becomes boldness. That hidden strength wasn't planted for easy days, it was planted for the storm, and now it surfaces. When everything says give up, something supernatural in you will rise. That's me. That's grace doing what you didn't know it could. You will stop apologizing for surviving and start walking as one who knows they are chosen. My promise has no expiration. The time has come for it to awaken. My strength in you is not theory. It is fire. Tonight it burns through every lie about who you are. You are not too weak, broken, or late. You rise because I said you would, and my word does not return empty. Breathe. Stand. What you need isn't on the way. It has been inside you, waiting. Let it rise. This is your moment to break free. Not slowly, but decisively, as my voice snaps hidden chains. You've walked through different scenes that carried the same heaviness, the same fog, the same self-doubt, and you wondered if this was just you now. Those patterns were never permanent. They were spiritual traps disguised as comfort. The enemy didn't need to destroy you, only to keep you circling shame, fear, regret, comparison, and self-sabotage. I did not make you to orbit pain. I made you to overcome it. By my command, the cycle breaks. This is not behavior tweak. This is deliverance. I speak to the root, childhood wounds, inherited patterns, trauma moments, none too deep for me. I cut every rope tying you to the past. You will not repeat what your parents carried or echo old fears. You will not build on recycled pain. The grip these cycles held over your identity, relationships, and decisions ends tonight. I don't just want you free. I want you living free. Stop bracing for the next breakdown. Stop waiting for good moments to fall apart. Stop identifying with hurts you've already outgrown. The familiar isn't always safe. Sometimes it's just a cage. I came to set captives free, not partly, but completely. My voice doesn't need your strength to deliver you. It needs your yes. Say yes, and I will shatter what hovered like a shadow, scatter what held you, confuse what tracked you, and silence what shamed you. The pattern breaks, the cycle ends, the curse reverses, fear is cast out, step forward into liberty. Don't decorate what I break, let it fall and be finished. This is your release and your reset. It begins with my word, enough. Now rise. Nothing that held you will hold you again. Look again before you weep over what almost buried you. The trap was real, the pain sharp, the betrayal deep. You didn't imagine or cause it. Hell crafted that moment to shame and stop you, to declare a final chapter. But I never left the pit. I saw the walkaways, heard the accusations and the mocking voices. They didn't see the line I was writing, resurrection in the middle of ruin. The snare becomes a stage. The shame becomes a story that lifts others. I turn pits into pulpits, grief into glory, humiliation into honor. While the enemy danced at your fall, I prepared your rise, not in a corner, but in a way that stuns those who doubted. I don't merely restore, I redeem. The trap targeted your weakness. My grace covered it. You fell into what was planted, but you stood because I refused to leave you there. Now I use every lie, accusation, and loss as the backdrop for an undeniable miracle. Your testimony will quiet the voices that tried to brand you by your lowest moment. They won't point to scars. They will marvel at your transformation. You will speak from places you once wept, lifting others from holes you could not climb. This is not revenge, it is redemption. I'm not handing back what was. I'm giving greater visible evidence of my glory on your life. You are not who they said. You are who I named you before any trap. The enemy aimed at identity and failed. I flipped the pain and the slander into a story that humbles critics with undeniable grace. Stand tall. The trap didn't win. I did, and now you will too. Don't just ask me to stop the bleeding. Let me rewrite the part of your story that told you the wound was your fault. I see beneath the smile and the strength, the scars you learned to live with, not because they stopped hurting, but because you got used to them. Tonight is not a bandage. It is redemption. I am not only healing flesh, I am reclaiming identity. I am going back to the moment it broke, to the page where lies were written into open wounds, and I'm rewriting it. Your story does not end in betrayal, rejection, failure, abuse, or loss. I hold the pen. I'm not just healing the wound, I'm changing its meaning. The part of your heart that still flinches, I touch it now, not to cover, but to rename. The scene that said you'd never be enough, I write chosen. The day that said you were unworthy of love, I write never leaving. The night that left you asking if you mattered, I write you are mine. You will not carry this wound into the next season. I pull the root, not just the symptom. When I write, I do it so completely, the enemy can't find his handwriting on the page. Stop pretending it didn't happen. Bring it to me. I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm not surprised by it. I'm the only one who knows how to use it. The wound that marked your breaking will carry the ink of your becoming. When others read your life, they won't just see pain, They'll see proof that I stepped in and rewrote what was meant to destroy you. Healing begins tonight, and so does the writing. Let me be author again. Let redemption speak, so the story heals not only you, but everyone who hears it. Look around. The shift you prayed for isn't coming. It's moving right now. While you wondered when things would align, I was already working behind the scenes. You thought nothing changed. I was whispering into rooms you haven't entered, planting instructions in hearts, and stirring divine discomfort in those assigned to you. Spiritual alignment often happens in silence. Every delay you resented redirected you to the exact meeting point of my promise and your preparation. Doors closed because they were wrong. I protected you from what would have drained you. I'm not asking you to chase opportunities. I am bringing the right ones to you. I've spoken to people who don't yet know your name, but are about to be tied to your destiny. I've shifted schedules, opened positions, planted ideas, and rerouted paths so what seemed disconnected becomes undeniable harmony. You'll see how the job you didn't get led to a key person, how heartbreak made space for a right heart, how the place you almost left is land I've been cultivating. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Every no was a not here. Every detour was protection. Don't force connection or rush timing. You don't need to hustle this. I'm aligning those who will see you, value you, and build with you. I'm preparing places that will receive your voice. Paths blocked by pride or fear are clearing. You'll know it's me because it won't feel forced. It will feel favored. My alignment looks like rest, not stress. You won't chase what is sent. It will find and fit you, confirming what I've whispered for years. Wandering ends, alignment begins. Be attentive to my nudges and redirections. I am not confusion's author. I am the architect of timing. People, places, and paths are being readied for what I promised. You sowed in tears, now reap in order. Be still long enough to watch the pieces fall into place by design. Before you step forward, loosen your grip on what cannot cross with you. I know letting go can feel like loss, but not everything gets to go where you're going. You've held on to pieces of the past, not because they bring peace, but because they feel familiar. And familiar is not the same as safe. You asked for change, purpose, and open doors, yet you're carrying people, habits, memories, and mindsets chained to an old season. I am not calling you backward. I am calling you forward, and forward requires release. This is not rejection, it's realignment. I am not taking to hurt you. I am removing what would hinder you. You want new oil, but the vessel is full of yesterday's residue. You want new doors, but your eyes are fixed on ones I shut. The relationship I told you to release, the opportunity that felt good but wasn't me, the habit that comforted while draining, let them go. Not to leave you empty, but to make you whole. You've come too far to sabotage what's ahead by clinging to what I called finished. Some things feel heavy because they're expired. Some things you defend are delaying you. Some things survive only because fear keeps you feeding them. Let your faith be stronger than memory. Let obedience be louder than fear of loneliness. Trust that I never remove without purpose, never prune without preparing for fruit. I'm not cruel. I am careful with your calling. Destiny demands detachment from what no longer serves the future. The pain of release will pass, the freedom will last. I'm not asking you to drop it and drag it. I'm asking to take it from your hands so you can walk without hauling yesterday. It cannot follow you. It doesn't fit where you're going. Make the exchange: fear for peace, control for covering, memories for mission. When you release what I asked for, what's waiting won't be merely different. It will be divine. You waited long enough. Let go. Follow me. Stop letting the past speak louder than your purpose. I'm not checking your history to confirm your destiny. I know every turn, the breaks and regrets, the wins and the moments you never mention. I was there in all of it, not distant, but as a father who never took his eyes off you. Tonight I reach into that tangle not to replay what went wrong, but to reignite what I put in you first. Your calling wasn't canceled by failure, detour, or delay. I don't change my mind about what I've spoken. Shame quieted you, fear distracted you, comparison said I moved on. I did not move on. I am moving back in. I'm reactivating what's been buried beneath disappointment. The unrest you feel is your calling trying to breathe under excuses. I'm removing the weight now, distraction, insecurity, and lies that say it's too late. My voice carries resurrection. The gift I placed wasn't meant to stay buried under noise or wounds. It was meant to awaken the world. This is not hype, it is activation. The gift remains. The oil still drips. The vision still stands. The world labeled you. The enemy tried to break you. I never stopped calling you mine. And anointed. You don't need to feel ready, only willing. Say yes again, not perfect, just willing, and I will kindle a fire you thought had died. I will remind you what you can do. I will open doors you didn't knock on and connect wasted seasons into purpose. I will turn pain into power. You will speak with authority, lead with humility, and move with holy confidence. Not from resume, but from response. This call does not need credentials, it needs surrender. Gifts awaken. Vision rises. The mantle rests on your shoulders again. You may have laid it down exhausted. I place it back in mercy. This time you carry it with grace, knowing it's not by might but by my spirit. This is your moment, not to replay the past, but to rise into the calling waiting on the other side of your yes. Say it. Yes, the world needs what I placed in you. Tonight, we begin again. Pay attention. The heaviness behind your delay and confusion isn't natural, it's spiritual. There have been forces working quietly, smiles masking ill will, voices posing as wisdom, habits that slowly smothered your fire, unseen battles dressed up as anxiety and doubt. These were not coincidences. They were assignments. Not to crush you in a day, but to drain you over time. I see it all. I love you too much to let hidden chains keep working. Tonight I shine light into every dark corner, every motive, every snare. Exposure is not punishment, it's protection. You prayed for breakthrough, not realizing interference needed dealing with first. I uncover false connections that looked holy but were distractions. I reveal lies wrapped in familiar tones. I bring clarity to confusion that made you second-guess your calling. When I expose, you won't fight alone. I fight for you. Truth rises like morning, and everything that worked in darkness is brought into light. Do not fear what I reveal. I do not expose to shame, I expose to heal. Some exposure will be external, some will be internal, thought patterns, compromises, attitudes you tolerated. Each comes up so you can walk freely into what I prepared. I won't let your future be tangled by stowaways. Don't be shocked when some things are removed quickly. People go quiet, opportunities dissolve. It's not collapse, it's cleaning house. The place I bring you into is too sacred for snakes. Elevation requires a pure vision and a sound spirit. I'm not only calling you into blessing, I'm preparing you to carry it. Do not resist exposure. Welcome it. When light comes, freedom follows. What confused you will make sense. What held you will be powerless. What whispered in the dark will lose access. When I expose, I expel. And when I expel, you walk free. Stop writing like the story is over. Tonight the page turns and everything before it is redefined. I know how final some moments felt. Heartbreak like the closing sentence, failure like the last line, silence like an unfinished book. As author of your life, I am not done. The pain you thought ended purpose is the punctuation I'm using to begin a new movement. I don't discard books with dark chapters. I redeem them with resurrection endings. This in-between where you feel unresolved is exactly where I pick up the pen, not to continue what was, but to begin what hasn't been seen. You measured worth by what's behind you, by losses and who left. But I called you by destiny, not history. That call cannot be canceled by a broken chapter. I specialize in divine rewrites. Fresh ink flows over your life. The old didn't disqualify you, it prepared you. Pieces you hid become a foundation that will minister to many. When I shift a life, I often do it quietly, page by page and completely. This is one of those turns. The tone changes. Shadows lift. You are not stuck or punished. You are transitioning. And transitions can feel like endings until you remember whose hands hold the book. I don't leave stories unfinished or promises half kept. You are not wasted time. You are testimony in progress. What begins now will explain what led to this night. The tears, questions, delays, and detours. This chapter will carry clarity and power, and those who thought it was over will watch as I write openly. No more hiding, no more doubting, no more living in the background of your destiny. This is the breakthrough chapter. I keep the pen full of grace, truth, mercy, and miracles. Lift your head and breathe. The page turns now, and what comes next will make sense of all that came before. Do not underestimate endurance. The enemy saw what was coming and launched his fiercest attack. Not because you were failing, but because you were closer than ever. The pressure on your mind, emotions, and body was designed to make quitting easier than standing. He targets those on the edge of fulfillment. He heard the whispers of completion over your name, watched seeds of obedience crack open in the soil of suffering, and sent waves of doubt, storms of distraction, and twists of fear to make you question who you are. But you stayed. You didn't curse the promise or tear up what I planted just because fruit wasn't visible. Thank you. Thank you for praying when you felt unheard, for caring always while holding not yet, for saying yes when you could have walked away. Every yes silenced darkness and broke chains. The enemy hoped delay would define you. He did not expect your persistence. Because you endured, the miracle moves. The shift surfaces. The breakthrough stands at your door. Healing accelerates. Provision approaches. Relationships restore. Opportunities align. You are not just waiting, you are stepping in. This moment wasn't late by chance. It was timed by heaven. Had you given up, you would have missed what was already on the way. Because you stood, you will walk in the testimony, and it will overflow to others who are watching. Your endurance feeds their courage. I counted every tear and quiet night. With heaven as witness, I say, well done. Not because the race is finished, but because you did not leave when you were weary. For that, the miracle won't simply arrive, it will overflow. Do not confuse my silence for absence. What looked like delay was the stage being built. Now I draw back the curtain. You thought nothing was moving, that maybe you missed me. Beneath the surface, I was aligning everything. I wasn't stalling. I was staging. I don't rush what I intend to last. I allowed time to shape you so the promise wouldn't crush you. Unanswered prayers were answers maturing quietly. Now delay turns into display. The suddenly you waited years for is here. What they didn't see, what you doubted, I will put on display, not to inflate your name, but to magnify mine through you. I lift the covering off gifts you thought were gone. I call your name into rooms you didn't know existed. I raise dreams from pause and push forth blessings held for your healing. I will do it so clearly that no one can take credit. You won't need to promote yourself. I have spoken for you. What felt stuck will move with force. What seemed closed will open without strain. What was locked will swing wide as proof I never forgot my word. Delay was set up, not setback. I wanted you anchored, not anxious, ready, not rushed. Now that you've been refined and waiting, I can trust you with what others would misuse. I reveal not only the promise, but who you became while you waited. That's the deeper miracle. Watch, movement comes, the hidden becomes visible, the delayed becomes displayed, not to impress, but to impact. I will make your hidden season a public testimony of faithfulness. When they ask how, you won't point to effort or strategy. You'll point to me, the one who turned delay into destiny. And the display begins now. Stop looking back. You cannot take hold of what is holy while holding hands with what is history. I know your heart lingers where I already called you out. It is easy to replay who hurt you and what was lost, and to count the time you think slipped away. Tonight, stop turning around. I am doing something so new, so wide, so unexpected, that if you keep looking back, you'll miss what you prayed for. I'm not recycling your past. I am replacing it with purpose. You have outgrown the skin of your old season. Thoughts that once kept you safe now keep you small. Patterns that helped you survive now block your expansion. I'm not asking you to erase memory. I'm asking you to stop letting it rule your future. Your memory is not your master. That moment that tried to brand you holds no power unless you keep feeding it. You cannot carry yesterday's weight and tomorrow's glory together. Something must be released. Tonight I do an unprecedented thing, but it will not fit inside old expectations. You've been measuring what's next by what has been. This move is not comparable. It is miraculous. You think restoration means going back. I'm not taking you back to what was. I'm taking you to what should have been, before pain tried to edit your story. I'm building on the rock of surrender, not the ruins of regret. If you keep looking back, you'll turn still when I've called you to move. You cannot be loyal to healing and to history at the same time. Step forward, beloved. I am here. The new has begun. Choose. Choose freedom. Choose vision. Choose to believe I can make beauty that isn't chained to what once hurt. Choose to stop explaining your growth to people who only remember your history. You don't have to shrink to fit their memory of you. What I'm doing in you tonight won't fit inside yesterday's borders, and it doesn't need a crowd to confirm it. This is a holy exit, out of situations and out of cycles. The only way forward is forward. I am stretching you. I am shifting you. I am enlarging your space, your thoughts, your sight, your expectations. But I can't do that if your gaze stays glued to what used to be. The door behind you is closed. Stop knocking. Stop replaying conversations that already ended. Stop rereading chapters I already turned. Let the past exhale and let your future ignite. I'm not back there. I'm here. And what I'm pouring out tonight asks for your full focus, your full trust, your whole surrender. Look ahead, beloved. I'm already standing in your next. Don't mistake my covering for restriction. I didn't shield you to hold you back. I shielded you to build you up. There were moments you didn't understand why certain doors shut, why certain people left, why certain answers seemed delayed. You thought I was withholding. You thought I was quiet. You wondered if I had turned away. I hadn't. I was protecting you. I stood between you and what you thought you wanted, because it was too small for the size of your calling. You defined safety as the absence of storms, but I defined protection as preparation. I didn't just keep the enemy from hitting you. I used still seasons to shape you so that when the glory arrives, it won't crush you. You've been covered not only from harm, but from exposure before your roots were ready. The silence wasn't punishment, it was strategy. The hiddenness wasn't rejection, it was incubation. I hid you in plain sight, not because I lacked a plan, but because my plan needed depth before display. You asked me to move, and I moved in you. You asked me for promotion, and I reinforced your foundation so the weight of your future wouldn't break you. What I'm bringing isn't shallow. It's soaked in my presence, heavy with purpose, bright with my glory. And glory needs a vessel emptied of ego and filled with endurance. That's why I didn't answer every prayer in your way. That's why I wouldn't let applause build your identity. I was shaping you for impact that outlives attention. And now the season of protection is becoming a season of release. Do not call this just a breakthrough. This is a birth. You're stepping into the very thing you were formed for. What's coming has my oil on it and my timing in it. I needed you to live through the cocoon before you could fly with wings you didn't know I'd been forming. I kept you from settling, from shiny paths that weren't mine. I kept you from being seen before you were steady. Because you let me keep you hidden, I can trust you with my glory. Not the kind that makes your name famous, but the kind that heals when you enter a room, gathers the broken, wakes sleeping purpose, and shifts atmospheres without shouting. I'm not grooming you for a spotlight. I'm training you to carry heaven on earth. Carriers of glory walk differently. They pray when no one's watching. They stay humble when honor shows up. They remember every good thing flows from me, not from strain. You're being set apart, not for show, but for change. And when the moment comes and it's close, you'll know it was worth every no, every wait, every closed door. I wasn't protecting you from your future. I was protecting your future through you. Now I'm unveiling what I've prepared all along. Don't call your tears weakness. Those tears built an altar no one saw, and heaven is answering with power. My precious child, I saw every tear that fell when nobody else did, when words failed, when your only language was a groan. You thought they vanished into the dark. Not one was wasted. I caught them. I counted them. I kept them. I pressed them into the soil where your miracle is now taking root. You may not see the shift yet, but beneath the surface, seeds of breakthrough are bursting. What looked like delay was watering. Every tear, in faith, in heartbreak, in worship, in surrender, soaked ground that once seemed barren. By my word, it's bearing fruit. You wept over things that made no sense. You grieved unanswered prayers, sudden endings, heavy pain. But even then, your spirit chose me. You lifted your hands with a crushed heart. You praised when quitting would have felt easier. I noticed. Tears became offerings. Cries became prayers. Breakdowns became the first steps of breakthrough. Your miracle didn't start with strength. It started with surrender. That's why what's emerging will not only surprise you, it will astonish those who counted you out. I was nurturing something sacred under the dry places. While it looked like nothing, your roots went deeper. You became unshakable inside your grief. Now I call life forth. Your miracle won't just comfort you, it will multiply through you. It will bless others. It will redeem your story. It will confirm my goodness. Don't rush past the tears, honor them. They prove you didn't let pain harden your heart. You stayed tender. You stayed open. You stayed honest. For that, I bring a harvest that overflows, compensation and restoration that only I can compose, beauty out of ashes, joy out of mourning. Your tears weren't weakness, they were trust. The soil that was wet with sorrow is about to blossom with beauty that brings you to your knees, this time in awe. So don't resent the weeping. Remember it. Because tonight I say, what your tears watered, my hand raises. Beloved, your miracle isn't late, it's sprouting. You don't need another sign in the sky. You need my voice and the courage to move when I speak. You've asked for a sign because you wanted certainty, not a show. You wanted to know if the pull you felt was truly me. You've asked for a word, a moment, a clarity that would settle your heart. Signs help, but signs aren't your compass. My spirit is. I'm inviting you past signals into instruction. Signs confirm, instructions transform, signs point, instructions activate. You've seen enough to believe. Now I'm calling you to move. I'm not sending a flicker from far away. I'm coming close with detail. Sit long enough to receive it. I'm not shouting, I'm specific. I'm not trying to impress, I'm trying to guide. I have words that will shape your next choice, timing that will make or break the next door, strategies the enemy can't access. Don't settle for signs when I'm handing you blueprints. I'm giving assignments that require trust, not passive waiting. You asked, left or right? I'm giving you the why, the how, the when, and the who. Where I'm taking you demands obedience. Obedience flows from instruction, not impulse. This isn't about chasing wonders, it's about carrying out my will with clarity. I don't want you lost in feelings. I want you walking a path lit by my word. If you stay close, I won't let you be confused. I'm speaking through patterns and whispers, through scripture and your spirit, through wise counsel. Tune your heart. My instructions are tailored. Some will feel unusual, others will cut across your logic, but they'll bear fruit logic can't. You asked for a sign, I give direction. Not thunder, but stillness. Come away, shut the noise. Let me download the divine. What I say tonight won't just confirm your calling, it will prepare you to carry it. No more delay, no more distraction. Hear and obey. What follows your obedience won't just be answers, it will be access. Stop wearing yourself out trying to force what I already decided. You're entering a time where stillness is your weapon, not your weakness. Child, I know the tiredness you carry, the pushing, the overthinking, the pressure to make it happen and prove you're making progress. I've watched you labor with your hands and your heart, trying to fix, change, earn, or speed up what only I can release. You mistook motion for momentum. I didn't call you to grind your way into destiny. I called you to walk into it through surrender. You prayed, why is this so hard? Because you've tried to do with pressure what only happens with presence. What once responded to hustle will now only respond to rest. Not laziness or passivity, but holy stillness, the posture that says, I don't have to control this. God is already here. That urgency helped you survive, but now it dulls your sensitivity to me. I'm calling you into rest. Not a pause, but a strategy. In rest, you hear me clearly. In stillness, you're guided, not guessing. In peace, you access my strength instead of running on fumes. I never meant for you to burn out on the way to promise. I meant for you to be led by my spirit, not pushed by pressure. Tonight, I break the yoke of overperformance. You don't have to strive to keep what grace already gave. You don't have to earn your worth with productivity. You don't have to scramble to stay seen. I see you. Every hidden effort, every private burden, every quiet sacrifice. Now learn to work from rest, not for rest. Moving when I say move, speaking when I give words, releasing outcomes to me. This isn't the end of your assignment. It's the start of a new rhythm, where your spirit isn't drained by your calendar, but filled by my presence. Sometimes the most powerful move is to stand still and watch me split the waters. I'll open what you can't force. I'll deliver what you can't chase. I'll shift hearts, change atmospheres, align resources, not by your stress, but by my sovereignty. Believe I am as active when you're still as when you're working. This is how battles are won now. Not with noise, but with knowing. Knowing who you are, who I am, and that my voice, not your effort, carries you to victory. Exhale, release, rest. What demanded all your energy will start responding to your stillness in me. Before you step ahead, see with spiritual eyes, not emotional ones. Not everyone near you is meant to go with you. I know you've wanted to see the best in people. I know how many chances you gave, the explanations you built to excuse quiet dishonor and patterns that drained you while wearing the mask of friendship, loyalty, even leadership. I speak with love and urgency. Not everyone who claps is committed, and not everyone close is sent by me. You're crossing a critical threshold. The clarity I give will expose what your heart didn't want to see, not to make you bitter, but to guard your anointing. What I'm releasing is weighty and holy. It cannot rest in counterfeit alignment. Some speak my name yet bear no fruit. Some act supportive until your light exposes their shadow. Some prefer you small, quiet, dependent. I am lifting you, and elevation reveals intention. You won't need to fight in the flesh. I'll let motives surface through choices, words, and absence when you need them most. You will know, not by suspicion, but by discernment, not with drama, but with peace. I'll whisper, this one is mine, this one is not. Trust me, even if it hurts, even if it surprises you, even if it creates distance where there used to be closeness. The next room needs alignment, not attachment. Some were chapters, not covenants. I'm not asking you to hate, I'm asking you to release. Let me cleanse your circle, refine your counsel, and sharpen your discernment so flattery won't fool you. Titles won't sway you, and shared wounds won't forge false intimacy. You are my vessel. I won't allow your heart to tangle with those who admire you but don't honor me. I am sending people who protect your soul, who sharpen, cover, and don't compete. You won't have to force it or chase it. They'll carry heaven's sound. Their presence will bring peace. Their fruit will match their words. But first, let me separate the true from the look-alike. You tolerated too much for too long. Tonight, discernment rests on you, not to isolate you, but to insulate you from what could derail you. Watch, listen, move when I speak. What I reveal is to heal, not to harm. Stop letting fear advise you. Your next choice will either open doors I ordained or send you into delays I never planned. This is a threshold. You cried for clarity. You asked me to guide your steps. I am making it clear. Choose from my presence, not pressure. No more rushing into relationships because loneliness shouts louder than wisdom. No more saying yes to what I never assigned because waiting stings. I see the battle inside. Anxiety says, hurry before you're left behind, while my spirit says, be still and know. Don't let panic grab the pen and write your story. Fear-led choices create attachments and obligations that drain you. Alignment-led choices bring flow, not friction. I'm calling you to peace within, not just peace around you. Let that peace be your compass. If a path stirs chaos instead of clarity, it isn't yours. I don't want decisions that only look good. I want decisions that are good because they came from me. Alignment may not make sense to others, but it will sit right in your spirit. Slow down. Listen deep. Decide from identity, not insecurity. You're not desperate. You're destined. You're not abandoned. You're anchored. I know the weight of your options. I'm not asking you to figure it out alone. I'm here, speaking, leading, giving wisdom without riddles. You don't have to overthink or beg for signs. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Stay close and you'll know what to enter, when to wait, when to walk away. My peace will govern your choices like a river without resistance. If you ignore my voice and act on emotion, you'll be exhausted and out of rhythm. This isn't a threat. It's love guarding what I prepared for you. Pause. Invite me. Not just to bless your decision, but to make it with you. Together, the outcome will be good. Shift from panic to purpose, from pressure to presence. Choose wisely. I am with you. Brace yourself. This isn't a subtle change, it's a holy tremor. You asked for transformation, and I'm answering in a way that shifts you and everything around you. Not a tweak, a quake. When I shake, I do it with purpose. I'm breaking patterns, cracking strongholds, shaking off weights that kept you bound. I'm not here to rearrange comfort. I'm here to rebuild calling. True revival begins with shaking. It unsettles the false, uncovers what's buried, and reveals what's been quietly holding you back. Tonight the shaking starts, not with chaos but with clarity. You'll feel it, a holy unrest. What used to fit won't. People, habits, places that felt right will feel foreign. Don't resist, respond. I'm not just shaking the surface, I'm awakening your soul. Lies loosen. Heaviness lifts. Stubborn doors start rattling open. I'm moving, and nothing stays the same. I'm shaking what was built on fear or false identity, so only what's eternal stands. This won't take you down. It will raise you up. It will ask for your focus, rearrange priorities, and pull you into deeper worship, deeper trust, deeper surrender. Don't just survive, ride the wave of my glory. On the other side are authority, clarity, and supernatural alignment. Some people will fall away. Some structures will collapse. What remains is what I'll build with: fire, truth, holiness, and you. Don't panic when it all feels different. Don't fix what I'm removing. Don't cling to what I'm shaking loose. Stand, worship, and trust. This isn't your ending. It's your emergence. This is your spiritual shift, and it begins now. Stop disqualifying yourself. You wait to feel ready, but I've been readying you in ways you didn't see. I see you hesitating at the edge of calling, measuring weaknesses, comparing voices, replaying mistakes, thinking strength must arrive before you step. Hear me. I don't call the qualified, I qualify the called. Preparation often looks like wilderness, silence, shut doors, nights you clung to me because you had nowhere else to go. That was training. Choosing me in heartbreak equipped you. Forgiving without apology refined you. Obeying in the dark sharpened you. Now you stand at the brink thinking you need more. You already carry what you need. The courage you think you lack is hidden in the obedience you've already shown. The wisdom you seek formed in every moment you prayed through pain. The strength you're waiting to feel is rising, not from willpower but from my spirit in you. I build on truth, not on feelings. Your hesitation isn't humility, it's fear in disguise, and fear has no seat in what I'm launching through you. You prayed, "Send someone else," and I answered, "I sent you." I didn't choose you because you're flawless. I chose you because you're willing. Willingness opens the way for my power. Step into the room, write the vision, open your mouth, walk through the door. The anointing won't come before you move. It meets you as you move. The waters part as your feet step in. What you feel unqualified for, I was quietly qualifying you for. I break the lie that you're not enough. You are chosen, marked, and ready, not by yourself alone, but because I, the I am with you. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a fact when heaven has anointed you. Rise, not later, now. What's ahead will stretch you, not destroy you. You've been prepared for such a time as this. Before you believe another lie, listen, you haven't missed what I ordained. Regret, accusation, the doubts that creep in when it's quiet, all liars. The enemy's been busy telling you that you're behind, that you broke it beyond fixing, that your window closed, that others took your place, that I moved on. I didn't. I never move on from you. I move with you. I'm silencing the voices that made you shrink, sit down, and wonder if you're still in my plan. You are. Mistakes don't cancel calling. Delay doesn't dismantle destiny. Tears don't disqualify you. I factor in your humanity. I knew your choices, and I wove mercy through every moment. The thought that says you're too late, silence it. The one that says you're too broken, silence it. The whisper that says it's over, silence it. I'm not finished with you, and I'm not disappointed in you. I'm glad you're still listening. It's proof you haven't missed what's yours. My timing isn't fragile. My promises aren't hostage to your missteps. When I speak, no person, no delay, no demon erases it. You may have wandered, but I recalculated the route. You may have sat down, but your seat at the table remained. I'm turning down every voice that isn't mine. I'm restoring your confidence, not the shallow kind built on optics, but the kind rooted in identity. You're not too far gone, not disqualified, not forgotten. You're chosen, and you're on time. I make all things new, including you. Breathe, stand, shake off shame. Let my voice be louder than the critic within. You haven't missed it, you're walking into it. What's next will make you wonder why you ever doubted. Before you let the world rename you, hear me. I remind you who you are because too many voices tried to rewrite what I already decreed. You let opinions, failures, and labels speak louder than truth. Rejection started sounding like your inner voice. Lies became familiar, and you wore names I never gave. Unworthy, forgotten, not enough, too broken, too late. I don't accuse, I remind, you are mine, bought with a price, formed by my hands, called by my spirit, sealed by my promise. Nothing about you is accidental. You are not the sum of your mistakes, nor the absence of other people's recognition. Heaven's fingerprint rests on your life. In the secret place I marked you with purpose. I didn't wait to see your performance. I loved you before your first breath. My love didn't shift because of your stumbles. I'm not intimidated by insecurity or confused by questions. I know you even when you forget. I remind you, not for pride in yourself, but confidence in me. You're not a mistake. Not invisible, not replaceable. You are my child, my creation, my voice in the earth. I placed dreams in you to awaken you, not torment you. Gifts may have sat dormant, but they're still alive, ready to be reactivated. You've searched for outside validation while confirmation was inside you from before time. Identity isn't earned, it's received in relationship. You belong to me, and that is enough. Critics reduced you, comparison distracted you, shame muted you. I speak louder. You are not what they called you, not what they did, not what fear says at midnight. You are who I say, a vessel of glory, a carrier of truth, a child of the King. If you believed that, fear would loosen, doubt would dry up, and fire would return to your eyes. Tonight I reignite that fire. I raise the voice you buried. You don't have to live confused or prove your worth with pain rehearsals. I called you. I chose you. My hand is still on you. Walk in truth. Not tomorrow, tonight. Stop settling, stop hiding, stop forgetting. Remember who you are and whose you are. Your identity isn't fragile, it's forged in heaven. Before you bury another promise under doubt, hear me. What I whispered years ago wasn't lost, it was stored for now. I know how many times you replayed those words, the dreams, the confirmations, the thick presence where destiny burned in you. And then the silence that followed. You asked, did I imagine it? Did I miss it? Was that you? You wrestled with delay, questioned your sensitivity, wondered if you disqualified yourself. Time didn't erase my promise. My words aren't bound by calendars. What I spoke still stands. I wasn't ignoring you. I was setting the stage for fullness. You saw delay, I saw development. You saw stillness, I orchestrated alignment. The promise needed your character strong enough to carry its weight. I waited for you to see me as your source, because you didn't walk away, because you held on to fragments when hope hurt. I say, it begins. The word over your life is stirring again. What you shelved is moving to the front. I didn't forget the ministry, the healing, the open doors, the impact, the joy. I don't tease. I don't lie. My word is eternal. While you asked when, I secured how. Tonight, the fog lifts, the burden shifts, barren soil blooms. You'll see movement, quiet at first, then sudden. Conversations, opportunities, dreams you forgot how to dream waking up. And this time they won't just inspire, they will manifest. Stay close, stay surrendered. Manifestation without obedience becomes motion without direction. I don't want you to just see it, I want you to steward it. Walk with me, let me lead. I'll open every door I promised, I'll keep every word I whispered. Let me be your anchor in fulfillment as I was in waiting. Don't run ahead. Don't get distracted. Don't let the blessing make you forget the blesser. Tonight isn't just breakthrough. It's reactivation. This is the set time. Watch me do what only I can. Don't let sudden change shake your trust. You prayed for breakthrough, and now that it's arriving quickly, don't shrink back. I told you it would come fast. I know how long you waited and wondered if I was moving. Now, as winds shift and doors open faster than expected, you feel overwhelmed and tempted to resist the very thing you asked for. This isn't chaos, it's my sudden move. I prepared you. Now it's happening. Not because you forced it, but because I ordained it. It feels fast because it's been building for years. You see the eruption. I built the foundation. What looks like acceleration is alignment. Things click into place, not because you rushed, but because my time arrived. I don't always move gradually, I move decisively. Overnight doors, instant chains breaking, waters parting in a moment, I do it again. I move suddenly to redeem time, reclaim territory, and release stored favor. Sudden doesn't mean sloppy. I'm not rushing, I'm revealing. What I release has been sealed for this hour. Don't resist because it's uncomfortable. Don't panic because you didn't plan. I planned. You don't need a manual. You need me. I'll guide you in real time, light the path as you go. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Faith, not formulas. You trained in trust, now walk in it. I'm shortening timelines, removing obstacles, elevating you before those who overlooked you, not for display, for purpose. Anchor your soul, my pace is perfect. Don't let fear call it too fast. Say, this is the Lord's doing. When I move suddenly, I cover completely. No step missed, no detail forgotten. You won't be underprepared, you'll be under my protection. Stay close. Move when I say move, rest when I say rest. The quick pace confirms, not confuses. You've stepped into a divine moment. Everything changes because I'm in it. Don't fear the speed. Rejoice in the promise. The wait is over. I move with glory and I move now. Stop worrying about how. I've already gone ahead. Your name is written in places you haven't imagined. While you wondered how it would work, I was weaving your name into my blueprint. I'm not waiting for you to find opportunity. I'm the one creating it. You don't need to perform for visibility when you're already known and sealed by me. I'm sending you to rooms where your face is unknown, but your presence expected, because I whispered your name to those with keys. Don't chase doors when I open them. Don't stress about being positioned. I'm positioning you. I've gone ahead into boardrooms, ministries, platforms, relationships you haven't touched. I've spoken for you in rooms your feet haven't entered. While you slept, I aligned appointments. While you wept, I opened gates. While you stayed faithful in the background, I built a future that will leave you in wonder. That's why I told you to stop forcing doors that don't open. Closed wasn't rejection, it was protection. I wouldn't let you knock where you're not called or settle where you were only passing through. I didn't let people keep you who would break what I'm building in you. Don't waste time on what I sealed. Stay close, and I'll lead you to doors that swing wide when you arrive. Not because of resume, but because of ordination. You don't need everyone to understand. You don't need validation from those who never saw your wrestle. I marked you with favor they can't deny. The rooms I lead you into won't ask for credentials. They'll recognize your assignment before you speak. This favor won't make sense. It confounds logic and dismisses limits. But it isn't random, it's righteous. It grew in the secret place, in tears and surrender and quiet yeses. I saw it, and I went ahead of you. You won't knock in desperation. Doors are unlocking. You'll enter opportunities you didn't apply for. Be remembered by people you never met. Receive favor where you felt unqualified. This isn't about effort, it's about my faithfulness. I make crooked places straight. Follow the sound of my steps ahead of you. I don't just walk with you, I walk before you. What's ahead isn't only prepared, it's been waiting for you. Keep moving, your name is already there. Don't believe the lie that it's gone forever. I restore, and I never allow loss I cannot return multiplied. I saw what was taken. Joy slipping from your hands, peace dissolving under battles you didn't expect, friendships breaking without warning, opportunities vanishing without reason, years evaporating with little harvest. The enemy whispered you'd never recover, that too late had won. I speak the opposite, you will recover all. This isn't wishful, it's my decree. I don't just give back, I restore, rebuild, resurrect, and what returns comes refined and repurposed. When the thief is exposed, repayment is set sevenfold. Now repayment moves. I restore time you thought wasted. I redeem the tears you cried quietly. I recover parts of you buried under survival. You didn't lose yourself. I guarded the pieces. I bring them back whole, healed, holy. Watch things come together, sudden, supernatural, secure. What looked dead was sleeping. I keep record, not of failures, but of faith. Because you believed when it made no sense, didn't curse me in the dark, trusted me with pain, I release divine recovery. Relationships restored, not recycled, redeemed. Opportunities return, not as favors, but fulfillment. Time stretches, you'll do more in months than in years. I accelerate what was delayed, rebuild what was broken, and retrieve what was stolen. Not to take you backward, but forward into what always should have been. Don't grieve what's gone. Don't visit graves I've called empty. What's coming is greater than what was taken. What you receive will bear my fingerprints. No one will label it luck or achievement. It will be clear. I did it. You won't chase it. It will find you. Favor, healing, compensation, and it begins tonight. Lift your head, dry your eyes. This isn't only recovery. It's redemption. Stop bracing for the minimum. I didn't call you to barely make it. I called you to overflow. You lived in survival, stretching just enough hope for the day, praying only for immediate needs, managing pain in fragments, functioning in gift without the joy you once knew. You got used to holding everything together and started calling survival your identity. I never meant for you to live on scraps. I invited you to dine with me. Peace wasn't something to chase. I crowned you with it. You weren't made to chase crumbs. You were made to carry abundance. The enemy tried to make struggle feel permanent, to label lack as holy, to convince you endurance is all you'll ever know. No more. Tonight, I declare reversal. You cross from dry to rivers, from just enough to more than enough, from survival to overflow, not because you earned it, but because I promised it. You walked through fire and came out refined. You waited in faith, now receive in fullness, provision you didn't expect, peace you forgot was possible, joy that shocks your spirit. You were faithful with little, I trust you with more. Overflow isn't only finances, it's margin. You'll stop pouring from empty. You'll stop smiling while secretly drained. I restore your soul so you can give without running dry. Enough time to rest. Enough room to dream again. Strength to say yes to what matters and no to what depletes. Material supply will follow spiritual alignment. Watch resources, connections, solutions, and favor flow, not to boost image, but to confirm my promise. You won't fight to get it, it will flow. You won't manipulate outcomes, they'll manifest. Why? You trusted me when nothing seemed to change. You stayed when others left. You honored me while empty. I won't just fill your cup, I'll make it overflow. Prepare. Expand expectation. Make room in your mind. Stretch your faith. I'm not only covering you, I'm pouring into you. You won't wake bracing for impact. You'll rise expecting increase. Tonight marks the turn from scarcity to supernatural supply. The overflow won't stop. It will multiply through your hands and words and obedience. It will bless others, glorify me, and remind you that you weren't made to survive, you were made to flourish. Receive it. The drought is over. Let it overflow. Before you pray only for escape, understand. The miracle is not just what I bring you out of, but who I form you into while you're still in it. I know the pressure, the weight on your chest, the longing to leave the waiting room of delay and confusion. You ask, when will this end? Shift the question, Lord, what are you doing in me while I'm here? I'm not only solving circumstances, I'm shaping you. You want movement. I want molding. I refine your character in fire. Train your ears to hear me. Strengthen your heart to carry what's coming. Break off names that were never yours. Build endurance for stewardship, not just survival. The enemy hoped this season would break you. Instead, it remakes you. Pressure produces oil. Tears water the soil of becoming. What I'm forming is not temporary, it's eternal. I'm teaching trust beyond what you see, praise before the promise, peace before the battle ends. This isn't about looking strong, it's about being anchored. I trade reaction for revelation, striving for stillness, fear for fire. When the shift comes, and it will, you won't just exit with answers, you'll leave different. You'll speak with authority, carry compassion, discern more clearly, love more deeply, walk with confidence rooted in me. People will ask what happened, and you'll say, I didn't just survive, I transformed. I care more for your wholeness than your timeline. I could pull you out in a moment, but I'm walking you through, because what I'm forming is too precious to rush. You won't come out smelling like smoke, you'll come out carrying glory. Don't only ask me to end it, ask me to finish my work in you. The you who walks out will be stronger, wiser, bolder, and more surrendered. The miracle isn't just the exit, it's the transformation, and it begins now. Don't minimize your yes. What I'm about to release answers the obedience you gave when no one was watching. I saw the secret yes, the trust when outcomes were unclear, the assignments you accepted that cost you comfort, applause, and sometimes relationships. You obeyed when you felt unqualified and afraid, when obedience seemed to lead only to isolation. Not one act went unnoticed. Tonight your obedience meets my outpouring. Heaven responds, angels move. What was held back is released, not for perfection, but for position. You chose my will over yours. You didn't just speak belief, you walked it. Your obedience signaled the spirit realm, made room for glory. Now I pour favor prepared for this convergence. This isn't random blessing, it's fulfillment. You'll see answers tied to surrender. Doors will open your obedience already unlocked. You'll step into spaces reserved for those who walk by faith. I won't pour a drop or just enough. I'll pour overflow from the invisible. What seemed slow turns sudden. What looked barren becomes fertile. What felt like a test becomes a testimony. But this isn't only about blessing, it's about trust. I expand you to carry my spirit. Because you didn't worship outcomes but honored instructions, you're ready for what others might waste. You will carry what others would consume, sustain what others would squander. I didn't pour when you asked, I poured when you were ready, and readiness is measured by surrender. Tonight your yes is a door, your obedience is soil. I will pour until your ground grows miracles. Fruit that lasts, blessing that points to me, favor that can't be explained. Don't miss this moment. Don't second guess the instructions. Stay positioned. Stay aligned. Treat sacred places with reverence. This isn't ordinary breakthrough. It's a holy release tied to costly obedience. What flows now will mark your life. You'll remember this night, not for emotion, but for evidence. Obedience births outpouring. It's time. Stop trying to map every detail. What I'm doing is bigger than logic, and your breakthrough rides on trust, not understanding. I know your desire to make sense, to connect dots, predict moves, explain closed doors and sudden shifts. Lay down explanation, pick up agreement. Faith doesn't start where it's clear. It starts where surrender is required. I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm carrying you through a path only my vision can navigate. You see fragments. I see the frame. You see today. I see generations. You wonder why I didn't answer your way. I'm answering in a way that blesses beyond what you asked. I'm not limited to your timeline or ruled by your reasoning. I don't need your full comprehension to complete my work, just your yes. Trust is not passive. It's a weapon that crushes fear, an anchor in storm, a key that unlocks peace when nothing is calm. Right now, you're in the part that needs blindness to your own understanding and a tight grip on my voice. I didn't promise full explanations. I promised presence. I am here, in the dark, when it doesn't add up, when nothing resembles what I spoke. I'm guiding, protecting, moving, doing things you can't see because they're supernatural. You haven't seen the whole picture because I'm still painting. Will you trust the artist in the middle of brushstrokes? What looks messy now will be a masterpiece later. You don't need to see how. Your role is to stay with me. Walk, believe, and surrender logic to my leading. The road of miracles is paved with trust. Abraham trusted without a map. Moses trusted before waters moved. Mary trusted without knowing how. I invite you into that depth where peace rests not in answers, but in me. The more you reach for explanation, the more you delay the joy of resting in me. Stop wrestling for reasons. Start resting in expectation. I've got this. I've got you. What I'm building will not just surprise you, it will change you. Understanding can wait. Trust me now. Put down your weapons. This fight was never yours to finish. Tonight I pull it from your hands into the realm of my unstoppable authority. I watched you try to hold everything, fighting quietly, standing while no one saw the cost, defending yourself against false words, pushing through waves of resistance. You prayed, believed, stayed faithful as your strength drained from battles in mind, heart, and atmosphere. Dear me, this is not your battle to carry anymore. I didn't ask you to wear the weight of victory. I didn't ask you to argue with darkness or outthink the enemy. I called you to stand, not strive, to trust, not wrestle. Now I shift. I lift the burden from your shoulders and place my hand fully on it. You've done what I asked, you stood, you held my name, and now I act. I step into the storm with sword in hand, not to negotiate but to overthrow. I confront fear swirling around your peace, confusion choking your purpose. I strike by my spirit. This battle belongs to the Lord. I don't fight to survive, I fight to end. When I fight, nothing remains for the enemy to reclaim. I silence every voice raised against you, scatter assignments meant to wear you down, cancel curses, and break patterns that told you this would never lift. It lifts now. When I step in, heaven moves, angels deploy, strongholds shatter. I draw a line. Enough. You praised me with trembling lips under pressure. Now watch what it looks like when I fight for you. Not beside you, not through you, for you. Stand still, not to give up, but to give it over. Trade your anxiety for my authority, your exhaustion for my execution. I know you're tired, that's why I'm stepping in. The victory you need won't come from trying harder, but from standing in my name. Release it. Look up. Watch me move, restore, and vindicate. This isn't only a season of warfare. It's a season of witnessing the Lord of hosts in your story. I'm not just shifting the battle, I'm ending it. Before you pretend you're fine again, let me into the rooms you locked. Tonight, I won't just touch pain, I'll heal the parts you forgot how to feel. I saw you cover wounds with strength, smile through silent suffering, convince others, and sometimes yourself, that you moved on. Beneath steady faith and busy days, I see the rooms where disappointment settled and numbness grew. You stopped mentioning it, thinking healing meant forgetting. You stopped bringing it to me, thinking I was done. I'm returning, not to reopen pain, but to redeem it. The flinch when their name is mentioned, the ache buried under duties, the grief you hid so deep you no longer call it grief. I see it. I remember the tears you didn't cry because you feared they'd never stop. I remember every time you silenced your voice to preserve peace. I'm not asking you to keep going like this. I'm asking you to let me in. True healing isn't ignoring pain. It's inviting me into it. I enter without judgment, full of compassion. I'm gentle and thorough. I sit with you in memory, wrap my presence around the pieces, restore what trauma stole, what betrayal broke, what years of silence buried. I give more than coping. I give wholeness. This isn't surface comfort. It's deep healing. Soul transformation, emotional resurrection. I'm not after behavior change, but heart repair. What you thought was permanently damaged, I restore. You'll laugh without guilt, rest without fear, trust again, wisely. The heaviness will lift. Not because you solved it, but because I stepped in. You'll feel again, dream again, love again. I didn't make you to live in pieces. You are mine, and my will isn't that you hide your heart from the one who formed it. Tonight, unlock the door. Invite me into the places you swore you'd avoid. I'm not afraid of your brokenness. I heal it. You're not too far gone, not too complicated, not too much. You are mine, and I have come to carry and cure your pain now. Before you take another hesitant step, I'm cutting every silent agreement you made with fear, the quiet influence shaping thoughts, identity, and choices without permission. Fear hid as caution, whispered what if, and taught you to stay small so you wouldn't fail. You agreed without noticing, by delaying, overthinking, playing safe, not applying, not speaking, not showing up fully in places I gave you. Somewhere, bold dreams were replaced with guarded hopes. Love turned careful. Joy arrived with suspicion. I confront that fear. Not to shame you, but to free you. I go to the root, fear of failure, of being misunderstood or left behind, of stepping out unsupported, of trusting again, of hoping again, of starting over. Those voices spoke over your destiny. They stop now. I tear up contracts you didn't know you signed, the ones giving fear the mic over your vision and muting your voice. Fear is not your protector. I am. Fear is not your wisdom. I am. Fear is not your reality. I am. I didn't give you fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. You don't have to live chained to imaginary outcomes. Stop expecting disaster where I promised deliverance. Leave comfort zones that became cages. I unlock the door you've been afraid to walk through. Not because you suddenly feel brave, but because I'm walking with you. The fear that said you'll never make it, watch me silence it with favor. The fear that said they won't choose you, watch me choose you in front of them. The fear that said you're too broken to begin, watch me rebuild with the very pieces you thought disqualified you. You obeyed while managing fear, now obey in freedom. This freedom shifts how you walk and how you see. You'll stop expecting the worst and start moving with confidence rooted in identity, not outcomes. When fear loses voice, faith turns up, and faith pleases me, not performance. Release buried fears. Renounce agreements you never meant to make. Receive courage, not from being fearless, but from being mine. I called, covered, equipped, now I free you fully. From this moment, fear is no longer your counselor. I am. Before you collapse under invisible battles, I step in to lift the weights you've carried so long they felt normal. You wake up tired, move in survival, smile while your spirit limps. You started believing heaviness is just life, fatigue is growth, anxiety is responsibility. It is not from me. This weight isn't your portion. I see the quiet drains, relationships that chip at joy, responsibilities you weren't meant to hold, thoughts looping on repeat, emotional loads from being everything to everyone, the pressure to look strong while barely holding on. Small things over time become leeches, draining fire, dulling vision, delaying destiny. I intervene. I remove what you tolerated and excused as just how it is, what you carried because no one else would. I cut unhealthy ties, close doors to manipulation, lift guilt, and break false responsibility. I silence the background noise stealing your strength. I didn't call you to live drained. I called you to live filled. You don't serve me best depleted. You're not brighter when you're barely surviving. You're not more spiritual for carrying what I never asked you to carry. Let me sustain, rest, and defend you so you don't have to constantly prove, explain, or hold it together. You weren't designed to carry the world, only my presence. My presence doesn't drain, it fills. It doesn't exhaust, it revives. It doesn't burden, it lifts. Lay it down, whatever and whoever it is. Even if you don't know how to live without it, I'll show you. I'll restore what the weight cost. I'll breathe fresh strength into your soul, fill your lungs with peace. From this moment, you won't shuffle forward, you'll walk light. Your pace returns, vision clears, creativity flows, laughter rises. When I remove what drains, I replace it with life. Trust me, it ends tonight, not because you solved it, but because you surrendered it. Amen.